You close your eyes, ready for rest. But like clockwork, your body wakes you. The urge to pee again. One trip turns into two. Two into three. And by morning, you're exhausted, foggy, frustrated. Here's the truth, it's not just getting older. In fact, there's one common mistake that silently teaches your bladder to wake you up. Most seniors do it every day, without even knowing it's the reason they can't sleep. But fix this, and everything changes. Tonight could be the first full night's rest you've had in weeks, maybe even months. If you're over 50 and tired of sleepless nights and endless bathroom trips, Vibe Healthy is here for you. Tap the like button, subscribe, or leave a comment. It's not just support, it's how you stay strong, stay rested, and take back control of your nights, one step at a time. The one mistake, drinking water too late in the day. It's a habit that feels harmless. You eat dinner, clean up the kitchen, get ready for bed, and just before turning out the lights, you sip a tall glass of water. You're staying hydrated. You think it's healthy. But this one simple act might be the exact reason you wake up at night to pee. It's one of the most common mistakes people over 50 make. And the worst part? No one ever tells you it's a problem. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to fluid timing. The kidneys slow down a bit. The bladder gets a little weaker. The muscles that once held everything in? They lose strength. And the hormone that usually helps you hold urine overnight, vasopressin, also declines. So when you drink water too late in the day, your body doesn't have enough time to process it before you lie down. Instead of resting, your kidneys go to work. Your bladder fills slowly while you sleep, until eventually, it reaches a breaking point. You wake up, groggy, stiff, and frustrated, just to stumble to the bathroom in the dark. Do this once in a while? Not a big deal. But when it happens night after night, it begins to chip away at your quality of life. You miss out on deep sleep, the kind that repairs memory, restores energy, and strengthens your immune system. You start your mornings tired instead of refreshed. And for many seniors, those late-night wake-ups increase the risk of dangerous falls, especially when balance isn't what it used to be. The worst part? Many seniors think it's just part of aging. But the real issue might be when you're drinking, not how much. Now, hydration is still critically important. But drinking most of your fluids in the second half of the day, from 4 p.m. onward, is like asking your bladder to do its hardest work right when the rest of your body is trying to slow down and sleep. So what can you do instead? Start your hydration early, aim to drink most of your water between breakfast and lunch. Taper off gently after 3 or 4 p.m. If you're thirsty in the evening, try a few small sips instead of a full glass. And avoid habit drinking, those unconscious sips you take just because a cup is nearby. This one shift can make all the difference. It gives your kidneys time to filter. It gives your bladder time to empty. And it gives you the full night's sleep your body deeply needs. Because fixing this one mistake isn't about restriction. It's about timing. And when you get that right, your bladder finally gets the message, nighttime is for resting, not running to the bathroom. Ignoring the 2-hour cutoff rule before bed. Let's say you finish dinner, go about your evening routine, and around 9:30 p.m., you feel a little thirsty. You pour yourself a glass of water, just a small one, and sip while you wind down. No harm done, right? But if you're heading to bed at 10, you've just made a tiny mistake with big consequences. You've broken what many urologists call the 2-hour cutoff rule, and for people over 50, it's one of the most important changes you can make for a restful night. Here's the truth, your body isn't a light switch. It doesn't instantly fall into sleep mode just because you climbed into bed. And your kidneys? They need time to wind down too. When you drink water, especially in the final hour before bed, your kidneys begin filtering that fluid within 30 to 60 minutes. Which means that even if you fall asleep at 10, your bladder may start filling by midnight. And if you're like many seniors, you'll be awake again before you know it, walking that all too familiar path to the bathroom. Now multiply that by 2 or 3 wake-ups a night. And suddenly, your deep sleep is gone. Your mornings feel groggy. Your balance is off. Your memory suffers. And the quiet, healing power of rest slips through your fingers, night after night. But it doesn't have to be this way. The 2-hour cutoff rule is a simple, powerful trick that helps your body reset. It tells your system, let's finish processing everything now, so we can sleep later. Here's how to use it. Set your bedtime target, for example, 10 p.m. Then set a fluid cutoff time, ideally by 8 p.m. This doesn't mean you can't have any water at all. You can take a sip if your throat feels dry or you've taken evening medications. But avoid full glasses, broths, or herbal teas after this cutoff. This simple change gives your body a chance to process and clear out fluids before you lie down. You're not eliminating hydration, you're giving it structure. Rhythm. And that rhythm supports your bladder in doing what it's supposed to do at night, rest. Now, many seniors are surprised by how quickly this works. Within a few nights of following the 2-hour rule, they notice fewer wake-ups, longer stretches of sleep, and less grogginess in the morning. And the best part? It doesn't require a pill. It doesn't cost a dime. It just requires paying attention to the clock and making your last real drink a little earlier. So if you've tried everything and still find yourself awake in the middle of the night, ask yourself, when was the last time I had something to drink? Because sometimes your bladder isn't overactive, it's just doing exactly what you trained it to do. And tonight, you can retrain it to be quiet again. You're doing your best. Drinking what you think are healthy fluids throughout the day, a little juice with breakfast. A warm herbal tea after dinner. Maybe a nice cup of broth in the evening to settle your stomach. They all contain water. They all seem soothing. So why are you still waking up to pee at night? Because here's the quiet truth no one tells you, not all fluids hydrate your body the same way. And for people over 50, the difference matters more than ever. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to what we drink, not just the amount, but the ingredients inside those drinks. And some of the most common healthy beverages actually do the opposite of what we want them to do. Let's start with tea. Many herbal teas are naturally calming, like chamomile, peppermint, or lemon balm. But others, especially green tea, black tea, or even certain detox blends, contain caffeine or natural diuretics. Even a small dose of caffeine late in the day can stimulate the kidneys and irritate the bladder, leading to frequent urination. And herbal teas labeled as cleansing or slimming. They often include herbs like dandelion, parsley, or hibiscus, plant-based diuretics that increase urine production, not reduce it. Then there's juice. Cranberry, orange, pomegranate, they sound healthy. But most juices are packed with fructose, a natural sugar that can act as a bladder irritant, especially in sensitive systems. Many are also acidic, which can inflame the bladder lining and trigger urgency. That glass of juice at dinner may taste sweet, but for your bladder, it's like ringing an alarm bell. And what about broth? Bone broth has become popular again for its mineral content. But here's the catch, most broths, even homemade ones, are very high in sodium. And sodium affects fluid balance in your body. When you consume salty liquids in the evening, your body may first hold onto the water. Then try to eliminate it after you've gone to bed. That means more pressure on the bladder during the night, exactly when you want it resting. So what should you drink? The answer is simple, clean, still, room temperature water. No added sugars. No artificial flavors. No detox blends, energy boosters, or powders. If you want flavor, try these gentle options, a slice of cucumber or peeled apple in your water. A pinch of ground cinnamon, not too much. Or a small dash of lemon, but only in the morning, not before bed. The rule is this: if it stimulates, spikes, or irritates, it doesn't hydrate. Your bladder is smart. It listens to everything you drink. And when you feed it calm, pure hydration, it returns the favor by letting you sleep peacefully through the night. Because staying hydrated isn't about drinking more. It's about drinking right. Not training the bladder to rest at night. Your body loves routine. It craves rhythm: when to wake, when to eat, when to rest. And just like a child, your bladder can be trained. The question is, are you training it to rest at night, or stay active? Most seniors don't realize this, but your bladder remembers. It learns from your daily habits. And if you've been drinking more fluids late in the day, snacking before bed, or responding to every small urge right away, you may have accidentally trained your bladder to stay busy during the hours it should be asleep. Let's think about it like this: if you consistently fill your car's gas tank at midnight, your car starts to expect that refueling time. It gets used to that pattern. Your bladder's no different. When you hydrate late, pee late, and respond to every overnight urge, your bladder begins to operate on a nighttime schedule. And once that cycle is in place, it doesn't just go away on its own. Even small things reinforce the pattern. For example, waking up at 2 a.m. and going just in case. Staying up late and sipping tea or soup. Or using nighttime as your main bathroom time because your days are too busy. Without meaning to, these small habits teach your bladder that night is the time to work. But here's the hopeful news: you can retrain it. Just like we teach children to stay dry through the night, we can retrain adult bladders to follow a healthy schedule, one that supports deep, uninterrupted sleep. Start with these simple shifts: hydrate early in the day. Your bladder should be most active between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Use the bathroom regularly during daylight hours. Don't hold it too long or skip breaks. A consistent pattern teaches your bladder when it's okay to release. Avoid peeing just in case at night. Only respond to genuine urges. This prevents reinforcing the nighttime habit unnecessarily. Cut back fluid intake after 6 to 7 p.m. Especially avoid broths, juice, or diuretics like tea. Train your mind, too. If you wake up at night and think you need to go, but aren't sure, wait. Breathe. Sometimes the feeling passes, especially if it's part of a broken pattern. Bladder retraining takes time, but many seniors start noticing changes in just a week or two. Fewer wake-ups. Less urgency. More peace at night. It's not about ignoring your body. It's about teaching it that night is for healing, not emptying. That rest is more important than routine. And that you're in charge, not your bladder. You've retrained muscles before. Habits. Even thoughts. Your bladder is no different. It's been following your lead. And now, it's time to lead it somewhere quieter, safer, and more restful. Taking certain medications too late in the day. You take your evening pills like clockwork. You follow the schedule. You trust your prescription. But night after night, you're still waking up to pee. What if the problem isn't your bladder, or even your water intake? What if it's when you take your medications? This is a hidden cause of nighttime urination that catches many seniors off guard. And it's something most doctors never fully explain. You see, some of the most common medications for people over 50 are also bladder disruptors, not by design, but by side effect. And when you take them too late in the day, they quietly force your kidneys and bladder to stay active long after you've gone to bed. Let's look at a few examples. 1. Diuretics, water pills, medications like furosemide, Lasix, hydrochlorothiazide, HCTZ, or bumetanide are prescribed for high blood pressure, heart failure, or swelling. Their job? To pull excess fluid out of your body and send it to your bladder. If taken in the evening, they work exactly when you're trying to sleep. You may not feel thirsty, but your bladder is working overtime, pushing that fluid out all night long. Solution? Ask your doctor if you can move your diuretic dose to morning or early afternoon. That one shift can dramatically reduce overnight bathroom trips. 2. Blood pressure medication. Some blood pressure drugs, especially ACE inhibitors and beta blockers, may indirectly increase nighttime urination by changing how your kidneys filter fluids. This effect is usually mild, but when combined with evening water intake, it adds up. Solution? Talk to your provider about timing. Many of these meds can be safely taken earlier in the day, especially if blood pressure is stable. 3. Sleep aids or sedatives. Ironically, some people take sleep medications to sleep better, only to wake up halfway through the night with the urge to pee. That's because these drugs may relax the bladder muscles too much, causing it to fill more quickly without triggering an early signal. Others affect your brain's ability to suppress bladder messages, meaning you wake up when you normally wouldn't. Solution? Discuss safer, non-disruptive alternatives with your provider, especially if you're relying on medication to sleep. 4. Evening supplements. Even natural remedies can trigger nighttime urination. Magnesium, vitamin C, or certain herbal blends may act as mild diuretics if taken too late in the day. Solution? Try taking them with breakfast or lunch instead. The key isn't to stop your medications. It's to respect their timing. To understand how they interact with your bladder and sleep patterns, especially when taken after dinner. Always talk to your doctor or pharmacist before making changes. Bring it up gently. I've been waking up often to use the bathroom at night. Could the timing of my medication be contributing to that? You deserve a full night's sleep. And with the right adjustments, your medications can support that goal instead of working against it. Because good medicine isn't just what you take. It's when you take it. Gulping instead of sipping throughout the day. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You realize you haven't had much water all day. So, you reach for a big bottle and take several deep gulps, trying to catch up. It seems like the right thing to do. But for your bladder? It's like setting off a small alarm. This is a common mistake, especially among seniors who are trying to stay hydrated. You know drinking water is important. But how you drink it matters just as much as how much you drink. And when you gulp large amounts of water at once, especially late in the day, it can overwhelm your system in ways that lead to nighttime urination, bloating, urgency, and more. Let's break it down. When you suddenly flood your system with a large volume of water, your kidneys jump into high gear. They rapidly filter the water and send it straight to your bladder. It doesn't have time to absorb gently into your tissues or support your cells over time. The result? You feel like you need to pee within 30 to 45 minutes. And depending on when that happens, it might fall right during your bedtime hours. And here's the other issue, your bladder's stretch receptors. These are little sensors inside your bladder walls that detect fullness. When you gulp water, your bladder fills too quickly and those receptors send a strong go now message, whether you're ready or not. For older adults, where bladder capacity may already be reduced, this can lead to urgency and frequent urination. The better approach? Sipping. Slowly. Throughout the day. Here's why sipping is powerful. It gives your kidneys time to process water at a steady pace. It keeps your cells hydrated without flooding your bladder. It prevents sudden urges and accidents, and it helps your body form a hydration rhythm, so your bladder doesn't get overstimulated in the evening. Think of it like watering a plant. You wouldn't dump a gallon on it once and walk away. You'd give it small, steady amounts so the soil can absorb it. Your body works the same way. Try this. Start your morning with a small glass of water. Keep a bottle nearby and sip every 15 to 30 minutes, not out of thirst, but habit. Avoid gulping after long dry spells, like right after a nap or errands. Taper your sipping after 4 to 5 p.m., unless you're very active or on medication that causes dehydration. And remember, thirst isn't always a good guide. By the time you feel thirsty, your body's already behind. But by sipping regularly, you stay ahead, and your bladder stays calmer. It's a small change. But over time, sipping instead of gulping can reduce urgency, lighten the burden on your bladder, and help you sleep through the night without interruptions. Because true hydration isn't about the rush, it's about the rhythm. Bladder irritating foods before bed, yes, they exist. Oh, you finished dinner. Maybe enjoy a light snack before bed. A little fruit. A square of chocolate. A slice of tomato with your salad. Nothing heavy, nothing wild, just something to settle the stomach. And yet, you wake up 2 or 3 times at night to pee. If this sounds familiar, the culprit might not be your bladder itself, but the foods you're feeding it before bed. Because yes, some foods, even small ones, can irritate your bladder lining and trigger urgency while you sleep. And the tricky part? Most of them seem healthy or harmless on the surface. Let's uncover the biggest offenders that quietly disrupt sleep for people over 50. 1. Tomatoes and tomato-based foods. Tomatoes are acidic. That acidity can inflame the bladder's inner lining, especially in aging bodies where natural protection has thinned. Even a small serving of tomato sauce, salsa, or a few slices on a sandwich in the evening can lead to increased urgency overnight. Tip: save tomato-rich meals for lunch instead of dinner. 2. Citrus fruits, oranges, grapefruit, lemons. While packed with vitamin C, citrus fruits are also high in citric acid, which can irritate the bladder similarly to tomatoes. Some seniors report burning, frequency, or nighttime waking after consuming citrus, even in juice form. Tip: enjoy citrus fruits in the morning. Choose lower acid fruits like pears or bananas at night. 3. Chocolate. Yes, even a small piece before bed can be a problem. Chocolate contains caffeine, theobromine, and sometimes added sugars, all of which are bladder irritants. For sensitive individuals, these compounds increase bladder contractions, which send go now signals during the night. Tip: swap chocolate for a magnesium-rich nut like an almond earlier in the day. For spicy foods, even a little heat, like cracked pepper, chili flakes, or hot sauce, can trigger inflammation in the bladder. If you're someone who enjoys spice, try having it earlier in the day and not within 4 to 6 hours of bedtime. Tip: use milder herbs like basil, oregano, or thyme at night. 5. Alcohol. A glass of wine may feel relaxing, but it's also a diuretic. That means it tells your kidneys, push everything out fast. It also suppresses antidiuretic hormone production, which normally helps you not pee overnight. Tip: avoid alcohol at least 3 to 4 hours before bed, especially if you're already waking at night. 6. Artificial sweeteners, in gum, diet drinks, or sugar-free air snacks. Even tiny amounts of aspartame, saccharin, or sucralose can irritate the bladder lining. For some people, they mimic the effect of caffeine, causing more frequent urination and sudden urges. Tip: read labels. Choose whole food snacks instead. Here's what it all comes down to: your bladder reacts to what you feed it. And at night, it needs peace, not provocation. By simply avoiding these foods before bedtime, many seniors report sleeping longer, deeper, and with far fewer trips to the bathroom. Because better sleep isn't just about what you drink. It's about everything you put into your body, especially when the sun goes down.